What about those who have never heard of Jesus? God himself asked a variation on this question. In Romans chapter 10, he says, how can they believe in him in whom they've never heard? The answer, God says, is for us to go and tell them about Jesus, to give them the good news. That's the goal of missions, right? To make this, what about those who've never heard? To make this question a moot point. But tragically, it's not yet a moot point. There are people who have lived and died and never heard the story about Jesus. What about them? Well, Romans chapter 1 says, everyone knows something about God. They know his eternal power and divine nature, and they know that he's righteous. Everyone knows that, God says. So if someone stopped to think about it, what should they logically conclude? They're not. What should their next thought be? I'm in trouble. I need help. How much help? All of it. I need grace. I need God to save me. I need his salvation to be entirely his work. Now, if someone does respond to the light they see about God in nature, because God is love and because God is just, he very well may, in a miraculous vision or dream, appear to them and tell them something about Jesus. In fact, we hear stories about this all the time in countries that have no access to the gospel, where an angel or even Jesus will appear in a dream and tell the person something about himself. But in all the stories I've heard, the angel or Jesus never tells them the complete story, but he says, someone's going to come and tell you the good news. You see, God's God. He can do whatever he wants. But still today, he seems to use means. He uses you and me. He uses missionaries. He uses his servants as witnesses to go and tell people about Jesus. So what about those who've never heard? It's tragic. But if they respond to the light they have, God will give them more light. And that light will come through us, God's children. So let's sacrifice time and money and resources to make this question a purely academic question. Let's make it a moot point.